Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome to another Tuesday live stream artist chat here on the Living Room Art Studios Instagram page. It's so great to have you joining us today. Wherever you are, I hope you're feeling safe and happy and with people you love. That's always a lovely thing, especially this time of year. But, well, no, let's be serious. All times of year. I want that for everyone at all times of the year. But this, of course, is that time of year where we're leading up to the holidays, and I'm just sort of, hello everyone, hello Anne, hello, hello, hello. Just really super grateful for everyone I have in my life, and I'm grateful for all the artists I have in my life. Even in the studio, I am surrounded by lovely little things that I've picked up from vendors, artists who make and sell stuff like things over the years. I've got my lovely little Key to the Spoons by One Hummingbird Lane. I've got my lovely art prints by Christine Weird. I've got this lovely little frozen doll crocheted by Nicole Henn. I've got my Brew Wizards coffee in my lovely living room mug made by Crystal's Creations. And yeah, if you haven't noticed, in the last few weeks, we've been doing our best to showcase and highlight some of the fabulous creators and makers out there who would normally be selling their stuff at marketplaces or, vending in different ways. And this year, of course, it's been very difficult to do that. So we're continuing to shine a light on artists and makers, but also including that extra little thing, just reminding you that you can still support these artists and makers. And today we're going to be interviewing someone who has been with the Living Room Project pretty much since the beginning. And they were a core member of the team that made the Living Room so amazing. They have been not only a wonderful friend, but just an extraordinary teacher to me in my own journey of humaning. And they're just an awesome human being. So without further ado, I'd like to invite on today's guest, artist and maker, educator, mental health advocate, super cool person, Kevin G of Kevin Makes Gay Shit. Let's see if I can invite them on now. Oh, where are you? Where are you? Where are you, Kevin Makes Gay Shit? Come on. Oh, I see you. I see you. So send me an invite and I will invite you on. Oh, wow. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to everyone who's joining us today. This is fabulous. Kevin Makes Gay Shit. It's just a fun name to say, really. I'll try not to say it too often, but it's kind of like, it just gives you permission to swear when it's in the title. Oh, hello.
Oh, hi. I'm sideways.
You know what? That could be a metaphor for my day so far. So you're just, you're feeling.
Yeah.
How are you? Oh, hello. Have I frozen?
Hi. Everything's frozen. Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Oh, I'm okay. I got my coffee. I'm here with you, with friends. This is always a lovely thing. Now, uh,
Oh, yeah.
there are probably a lot of folks watching who know you, but for those who might be unfamiliar with you or your work, would you like to introduce yourself and explain what you do, all of it?
For sure.
Yay.
So I'm Kevin. I use he or they pronouns. Um, I dabble in almost any kind of art form I can get into. So I started with digital art and drawing and painting, and I started doing that. And then I moved into some fiber arts, some crocheting, and then I moved into some sculptural things, back to 2D art. It's something that I'm always interested in is new materials. Yeah.
I love it. And whenever you,
So there's that as an art. And as a person, I mean, I struggle with mental health issues, and art is a way that I cope with it. So, yeah.
amazing, amazing. I think that's one of the things over the years I've enjoyed whenever you were able to drop by the studio and to make art. It was always an education for everyone who was able to witness it. Not only watching your techniques and the creative energies that have gone in and go into what you create, but also how you use the creative process to take care of yourself and I think to teach other people about how they can take care of themselves too, to be a resource. I don't know. That's not a question, just an observation.
Right, yeah. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Yeah, because it's mainly for me. I mean, I make a lot of art for me, and I
Mm.
think that's I guess I make art for two reasons. One's to sell or for someone else that I think someone else could enjoy, or something that's totally for me, will never be for sale. It's just it's personal. So at the studio, I like either or. So yeah,
Can we talk about that a little bit? That because
for sure.
I know that like it's not a new thing. So many artists use art for their own self-care or to figure things out. But I think for like at least a lot of the people I've been in contact with, there is this, it's an interesting thing, isn't it? There's a confusion about, well, what's mine and what belongs to my audience or my fans, or that like, what do I keep for myself? What do I share? How do I determine that and still be authentic to both, both avenues of creation? What do you use as a guide for that part of your process?
Um, I guess it starts with sometimes with intention. Sometimes it's like this is going to be something that's for me,
Mm-hmm.
and this is going to be something that I'm going to try and figure something out with. Um, and then I ask, certain questions, or I don't. I just kind of go for at the studio. I just kind of go for what attracted me, like whatever stood out that was coming off the shelf and on coming with me, right? So sometimes I don't even think about it. But it's part of like asking the right questions, like
Mm-hmm.
do I what do I need from art right now? What do I need to do? And what kind of space am I in? Am I some questions I would ask is like, am I feeling okay right now? Because if I'm not, I probably should be making art for myself. Because I know that works for me. I
Nice.
probably should be focusing on me at that point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
see
It's about
cascade.
yeah, I see that less strategy, more feeling. Yeah, totally. Yeah. It's totally inside and you kind of choose what works. But for when I'm selling things, it's that sense of this is finished and I don't feel attached to it.
Hmm.
Like it's beautiful. I love it. Someone else might like it even better. That's kind of my thought process.
That,
Um, when something isn't, uh, so close to the heart, it's okay to, or the intention is, I really want to make something that somebody else could enjoy, or as a gift or something. I really loved giving things gifts and thinking of the person specifically and thinking about their choices and what they would like. I guess it's more about feeling. Yeah, long answer short.
but I also like that process of asking yourself the question in the first place, because I hope I'm not alone in this, but I can how often have I sat down to create and kind of listen, folks, I don't always practice what I preach, okay? Just, I'll put that out there. I try. But like times when I have been finding myself pushing through something, even though I am not enjoying the process, like, or like, and that's just because I want to get it done, or I feel like I have to do something, or I have to finish this thing that I started. And when I hear you talking about just that simple check-in before you jump in, or maybe during your creating, like, what is it? Do I feel like, who is this for? What am I feeling okay right now? Like that question could save so much trouble, so much time just by,
Mhm. Yeah.
is it something like, what do you think gets in the way of that conversation with ourselves, that check-in process?
Um, I think it's something I've kind of always it's always been instilled in me during like groups and mental health things. They always kind of start with a check-in
Hmm.
when you're doing something, and you check in with group members or with professional, or it's just part of my routine to say, oh, okay. Before I start this task, what's up? What's up with me? Like, am I okay? And sometimes it'll be like, what am I drawn to? Like, I get very, um, overwhelmed by possibility and ideas, and I have, unfinished things, finished things. I don't, yeah, it's just, it's about how you feel that day and what you want to explore.
So
Yeah.
I know we've talked about like just that, like, so we're talking about art, but we're also talking about intention and sort of placing yourself at the top of that priority list. So instead of putting art before yourself, production before yourself, other people's expectations before, you're starting with you before you go into the art process.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that intention and other people or wanting to sell your art will come right after that.
Mm,
If that's what you want to do, if that's something you feel that you need to do, I think it comes after that. Like it took me a while to market certain things because they were so close to the heart
mm,
and because they were so intense in the questions I would ask myself before and after making something. There's things that could be very marketable. I see that like people make and things like that, but that's maybe not the point,
mm.
right? So you gotta, yeah,
And you were trained.
yeah. Like I guess I can show.
Oh, yeah. If you want to show stuff, go for it, please.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say an example of that would be like I make decks of cards. Um, and so these cards have different things on them. This set, oh, it fell on the ground. This set here is I took the backing. I made like Pokemon cards or any type of cards. I took the backing of those,
Yeah.
and I put some quotes on there. I don't know if people can see, but I've decorated them.
Yeah.
It's in a little sleeve, and there's a whole deck of them. So I kind of use them as like oracle, or if I need a quote or I'm not sure, or inspiration, I kind of pull one, um, and see what comes out of that, right? So that's like something that a lot of people have asked me for, but I can't necessarily do that. It's not. It doesn't feel right. Like in my like because it's so personal in there. So they're quotes that I've chosen. So it's very personal. Yeah.
Do you foresee a day where perhaps you get to a point where you could create something like that for like a general public, a general community?
Probably.
Yeah.
It's probably gonna get detached from myself and it'll be something that I look back on, not something that I'm working with right now.
Yeah.
So sometimes I feel like I make a piece of art and it'll be very important to me in that moment, but it'll lose some of that importantness or that closeness to me, and I'll view it more as an aesthetic thing.
So it's
Um,
almost,
Maybe because I've been through it or I've worked through those things, or I don't know what it is about it.
it sounds like there's art, the art for itself is something alive and active that you're engaging with. There's a relationship with it that is, I mean, maybe it's as simple as saying, this is something I need in my life right now. I need this art in my life right now. This art I don't need in my life right now. I'm happy with it, but it's not, I don't need to, yeah, it's a different kind of relationship.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now you've talked to me before about things,
Yeah.
versatility and meaning and like kind of distilling, is versatility, when you talk about versatility in art making, is that something that's attached to the art that you let go of? Or is that attached to the art that stays with you?
Ooh, good question. Um, when I talk about versatility, I I mean I'm very like I like to explore and adventure into
Yeah.
different types of mediums. So I think that's where versatility comes from, or working with the same theme with different medium, or working with the same sort of type of medium, but with different intention or different type subject matter.
Mm.
So I like to explore things that way. Sometimes if I'll be really into fiber arts, then I'll make something in fiber and they'll have different topics about it, right?
Yeah.
So just because I'm attached to a part of it, it could be the theme or it could be the type of art making.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I noticed in some of the things you sell as well. Like one of my favorite things that you sell are the um folks might have been able to tell how many pictures I posted of them, but the crocheted I love
the
those,
grounding mats.
the grounding mats.
Yeah, they're kind of like this.
So
They're
that's
very tactile and full of beads and stuff. Something I crochet.
yeah.
Um, I sell those because I guess they are important to me in the way that I need to make them
Hmm.
in order to feel what the intention of this grounding mat is a tool, like a self-regulation tool.
Yeah.
Um, for me, making it serves that purpose for me.
So the process.
Oh, exactly. The process does what I intend it for to do to others, if that makes any sense. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, because it is a sensory thing, and I'm not attached to them per se. I'm attached to the making of it.
And yet it's interesting because I remember over time, I think you didn't always know how to crochet, did you? This wasn't something that was
No,
natural. So I think I've watched you learn over the years how to crochet. So when did the moment happen, like for you engaging in a process and learning about these things that were very precious to you? And okay, I'm at a point now where I can share this with the world. What was that journey like for you?
um, at first it was learning the skill of crocheting,
Yeah.
how to do different things. I did a lot of YouTube videos and friends showing me how to actually hold the tool and work with it. And then I learned through videos the kind of stuff I wanted to make. I wanted to make slippers, so I made slippers. I wanted to make stuffed animals and things like that. So I learned how to do them through the internet and just looking at very specifically what I wanted to make. Not too ambitious, like not too huge. And then I would try and get to that goal, make these small goals and get more detailed and more detailed. And then after that, after I've mastered some of the skills, I could read a pattern. I felt more confident in my abilities.
Hmm.
Um, and then things were able to, I found this, I guess I found this style of crocheting where I use a lot of different yarn with different textures. And I just liked it. I liked doing it. It felt very nice because, to be honest, I really like the colors of just having a little bit of the kind of collage style.
Yeah.
So I was really into the collage style type of art. So it lended itself well to crochet. And with that, I was able to make things and be like, you know what? This is nice. And I can, make this pretty. It didn't take me so long and it didn't take all my emotional energy to make this.
Hmm.
It was just fun and soothing. So I can let it go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it took a while. It took several years for that to happen.
That's when you were, there's a few things that I just realized for the first time as you were talking. One is, and I will return to that process again and ambition and finding that balance with self-care and productivity in a moment. But it's so true. I had never really thought about, because you make these fabulous collages as well. I'd never seen the thread running through the collage work into the crochet work. There was a total thematic link aesthetically between all the things you do.
Yeah.
That's amazing. How come I never noticed that before, Kevin? How come? Ah,
I, yeah.
So if we may, like,
Yeah, it's a cool observation.
it's really cool that, and it just speaks again to me the uniqueness of the artist. Your voice, any artist's voice, can come through whatever they choose to do, whatever modality they choose to work with. If you give yourself enough space to say, like, true to yourself and to check in with yourself and take time to, like, just ground yourself in whatever kind of creative production you're doing, that your voice, your unique voice, will emerge. It's not just about making things for people. It's a, you know, you're part of the process. Your voice is there. Um,
Yeah.
that Kevin. Thank you. Yes. Okay. All right. Let's go back to that other piece you were mentioning, which I'm really curious about. And I know a lot of artists that work with the living room or in the chats we have, this comes up quite frequently. Just the tension between I want to make things and sell things, and also it scares me and it, activates my anxiety or what have you. And just that tension that all artists experience between, ambition and self-care, and being in a world that doesn't often
Yeah.
prioritize well, especially in the arts. I don't think with artists we might prioritize our wellness, but the people who appreciate or consume what we create don't often appreciate our wellness. I feel maybe like that's a huge generalization, folks,
Mhm.
but I think there's
Yeah, huge. Yeah, I see that happening. Just because you just I think the assumption is the artist is doing well when they're producing.
mm,
So for me, when I see somebody doing well in producing and making new stuff, I'm very happy for them because I know the creative processes can be really hard. And I guess you cheer on for those artists to make more because you assume that they're in a good mood. So I can see that being like somebody who appreciates artists and likes to buy small artists and look around and see what I can find for art because I just enjoy it. Is you just hope for the best and hope um, that they're well, but in the sense that you don't want to overwhelm them and want them to produce too. It's a fine line, and I think each artist needs to find that for themselves, and it's about boundaries.
that magical word, boundaries, again. Absolutely. Yeah. I I think this week is it. I think it's this December 3rd will be international, the National Day of Awareness for people living with disabilities. And this year there is a special focus on people who live with invisible disabilities, including things like, mental health diagnoses or different like neurological conditions or uh, limit like different barriers or obstacles like cognitively, chronic pain, all of those kind of things. So it's caught
Mm.
a little bit about uh, what life looks like and productivity looks like for artists with those disabilities, who live with those disabilities, and how there may not be the same kind of understanding out there uh, for folks who have more visible disabilities. It's an interesting journey. Um, like it's, I think sometimes we don't necessarily wear things on our sleeves. We don't put those things out at the forefront because I think all artists, we just want to be artists. I think that's what we want to be more than anything. But when it comes
Mhm.
to creating and knowing that you're someone who prioritizes their wellness so that you can create, what kind of advice, or not necessarily advice, but what would you say to others who are out there wanting to create, wanting to build relationships with audiences? Would you have anything that you
Um,
that?
yeah, I say what I've tried to do for myself, and I'm just gonna speak from my personal experience, and people can draw from that if they want to. What I tried to do was try to set small goals
Mm,
and set I started with the grounding mats, doing them, and for example, and I decided I'm gonna make them, and I'm gonna just post pictures of them and see how it goes. So I made a batch, and then after that, I was like, oh, I think they look really nice together, all together. It shows a variety of techniques and things like that. So I think they're ready. So I then started selling them, and then I started making customs, so um, different requests into them and things like that.
Mhm.
But I think it's about setting up your goals and what you want. Maybe setting up till a big goal and breaking it down, but it's all about trying to make yourself achieve what you want to achieve, but making sure it's very realistic.
Hmm.
And it comes realistically, like me just making that batch was realistic. And then pricing it is a whole other can of worms. And then
Yeah.
I talked to some people, and that's the next step. And you just think about one step at a time, what you can do to get to that bigger goal. Um, yeah. And what works for me is deadlines. Like on this Instagram, I had a sale, and I gave myself the time. I announced it. I on a day I knew I could handle it. A day I knew I didn't have too much on my plate, and I said, okay, this Wednesday, I think it was a Wednesday, I'm gonna do the sale, and watch out for it. It's gonna be at this time, and so then I set myself up to do that sale because I had a lot of resin products, epoxy resin. I'll show you guys some examples after, but it was just one step, one step, one step until you feel ready to do the next one and the next one. And it's increasingly more challenging, but it's you're building confidence as you go,
Yeah.
as you achieve every step.
And do you find there are certain platforms
Yeah.
or tools that have been helpful for you in managing all of that?
Um, I've tried different types of areas to sell it. I mean, it's not going to be easy. I mean, in one way I say find your audience,
Hmm.
but in another way I say do your own thing. So for me, I thought there's a lot of art on Instagram,
Hmm.
and it's a platform that I'm comfortable with. So I kind of mashed the two, and I started selling directly on my page. Um, Not having too many followers, not um, I just decided to do it that way because that's self-paced. You don't have to deal with anything else that you don't want to deal with. You can
Yeah.
put out a sale, or you can just put your things as they are made.
Yeah.
You can choose your own schedule with that kind of platform. So
I love that.
yeah,
Yeah. When we were, and there's like to all the artists out there who are, choosing this path for themselves, like keep on going. I encourage you. It's amazing. Personally, I'm loving what I'm seeing out there. And when we were talking yesterday, it kind of came around to the idea that this kind of marketing and connection, it's like we have all these, like slow life movement. We say that at the studio a lot. It's about slow life, slow living, making the choices you need to make at your own pace. And this seems to be the version of that. It's slow
yeah,
selling. It's like not necessarily racing to, my product line has to be available
mm,
for season, or it's like as I'm ready, as I feel comfortable, bit by bit, step by step, I'm going to connect with people through what I create and trust that they'll be there to receive it. Have you had a lot of good feedback from people?
yeah.
Did I freeze?
Yeah. So yeah, it's been great to set some goals,
Yeah.
um, and to maybe like I've done a few things. with you guys over holiday seasons over the years, and I'd prepare for that in the summer,
Yeah.
getting ready for that. So it's achievable goals and making, like maybe a little bit of a challenge, but not too much of a challenge that it's way out of your control and it's too hard, and
Yeah.
because then you might not feel so good about it and feel rushed. And yeah.
And the feeling rotten is something like, for me personally, if when I feel rotten, I'm not creative. I'm not creating. I'm not productive. I'm not able to do the thing I really want to do. So taking that moment to step back. It's boundaries. Like, can you revisit the idea of boundary making again? And if you feel comfortable with this, just share a little bit about how you came to the point where you realized that that had to be a priority for you as an artist, as a maker, as, as an advocate.
um yeah, I mean, it it came hard, like lesson after lesson. It's always been, I have to, it boils down to, if I can't take care of myself, you can't take care of anyone else.
Mm,
um and you have to try your very best to take care of yourself, because you run out of spoons, or you, like, it, it's something that just kind of clicked one day for me. I
mm,
think it was after a few things that had happened. It just clicked, like, you've you know out of anyone in the world, I think you have to take care of you, because you're all you have. But I mean, of course there's supports and there's people out there who care, but
yeah.
it boils down to, are you okay with you, and are you okay?
Yeah. And then we can create those boundaries. We can still move them. That's the interesting thing about boundaries too. Like, they're flexible. They don't need to be, you know, castle walls necessarily.
Exactly.
I've actually, your grounding mats remind me of that. The shape of them has always, I love the organic nature of the shape of them. They all seem kind of like amoeba-like to me when I see pictures of them. And I like that idea of boundaries being soft, about being, strong, but in the end, we're in control of that. So we're the ones who make the calls about, who we let in, who we, the time we need for ourselves, all those decisions. I love that idea. I don't know.
Absolutely. And I think it's very, like, um discouraging to think that boundaries are extremely rigid. If
Mm,
somebody tells you no, they can't go to the movies, it might not be forever. It might just be that day. Like, it's, yeah. You see that very fluid. It's like, you have to be able to communicate that, I suppose. Yeah.
I think that's an important part of that, like the communication of things. Like, when your, like, the relationship you have with your various audiences, because I know you do so much, in the arts community, but you also do a lot within the health, awareness and advocacy community. How do you manage that part of you? How do you find, like, how do you communicate?
um I guess I try to tune in to myself first,
Hmm.
and that's a hard part. That's really hard to, like, really think about what, like, rationally, like, what's going on, what are the facts, what is this. And with mental health, you have to, or it's hard to voice those things. Sometimes it's really hard. And being in that position a lot, like, trying to your best to communicate things to people. um I think you really need to tap into, why is this feeling? Where is it rooting from?
Yeah.
And what can we do about it? Is there a compromise? Is there something that could be, tweaked one way or another, or
Yeah.
just trying to put yourself in other people's shoes. Yeah, there's a lot of thought and a lot of reflection that goes before, I set any sort of boundary.
Yeah. And it can be, I think this is a point too where allies can step in as well and assist with the communication. No one can speak for anyone else, but I think a general awareness of there are other ways of moving through the world than, this kind of North American normal. Like there are other ways of being, there are other ways of moving and achieving things. And I'm hopeful the more allies understand that, like in mental health, in ability, in everything, that we'll be able to get to a point where it'll become natural to check in with one another before, assumptions are made or so
Mm-hmm.
always have to fall on the individual to advocate for themselves. I don't know. That's just something I'm hopeful about. I don't know about you. What do you think?
Hey, you froze for a little bit.
That happened. So what if I was to ask the question again, what would it be? Um, well, how about this? Am I still freezing? Maybe. Okay.
No, now you're good.
Okay. Here's a question. Here's a big question. What are you hopeful for?
Okay. Um, what am I hopeful for? I think, ooh, that is a big question, Mary. That's a hard one. I
Okay,
am hopeful
at the
for,
different categories. What are you hopeful for in um, with regards to just allyship and you know m- like the future of mental health and wellness and uh, advocacy and especially in the theme of folks living with invisible disabilities. How about we start there?
okay. Yeah, that's a good place. I just hope people can really listen,
Mm,
If somebody's telling you something, there's a reason for it. Um, and listening and putting, maybe thinking of a different side of the story and what ifs, and I would be straight to assuming that any given time, somebody that didn't want to do something with me didn't like me, things
mm,
like that. So it's kind of reflective of what I'm trying to say, is that I now have to look at all the perspectives. Maybe they're sick, maybe they're not well, maybe the weather's too crappy outside for them to want to go out, getting to know people.
mm,
It doesn't, yeah, just having more of a listening ear, being able to try to understand, even just by starting, that is listening to the
mm.
core.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, second hope question. What are you hopeful
All
for
right.
with regards to your lovely art creation business?
Ooh. Um, well, I'm pretty happy at this point because I started to make very slow sales,
Yeah.
and I'm happy to see that people are enjoying what they're receiving. So, what I hope for is that I can continue to make things that A, make me happy, and B, make other people happy. Um, I guess this is a good time to show you some resin stuff. So
Oh,
it's super experimental. It's something that I just do. Here, I'll get the light here. So, oh, maybe not like that.
woo!
Um, yeah, it's
Oh,
clear plastic basically. So it's all with this glitter. This one's kind of fuzzy peach looking to me. So it has, some fun properties, and they're really experimental. So I really hope that I can continue having fun with this. It's like small product design. Yeah. There's a heart. And they're like clear, so any type of light you look in there.
Yeah.
There's candy in there. Yeah. They're very interesting objects. So I have fun. It's an ashtray. Blue one with the spider.
Love.
And yeah, like play with transparency, color, glitter, things like that. This is it's pink. We can't see it too well, but anyways,
What was the
yeah.
shape? The shape of what was the shape of the pink one?
Oh, it's a dinosaur.
Okay, good. I thought it was a
Maybe you can
dinosaur.
see it better now.
Oh yeah, there we are. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pink
Oh,
dinosaur. Yeah.
making what you love and trusting that those pieces will find the right people. Because as I was asking you the questions, I had this moment where when I said art and then I followed up with your business. And I don't know if anyone else had the same feeling. I had like this tiny little burble of anxiety just using the word business. That's like there's
Mm-hmm.
something else happening there too with artists and business. And I don't know how comfortable we are with embracing the business side of ourselves. And I don't know why. I don't know why. Why do you think?
Yeah, it's. I think it's super hard to if you put, some sort of any sort of effort into anything. It's hard to monetize. Like
Hmm.
this is how much this costs. Like you can do the math and try and figure it out, but I feel like artists have a hard time pricing or seeing who their audience is
Hmm.
because the internet is so wide, you don't really know who. I mean, I've had very cool surprises that people that I didn't know buying things. Oh wow, that's awesome. But um I guess yeah, those are the two things. Yeah.
So you do something really cool with your pricing as well. Do you want to talk about the idea of kind of customizable pricing that you have?
Yeah, for
But
sure.
I love that.
So with my grounding mats,
Yeah.
yeah, with my grounding mats, it's been a pay what you can sort of situation because I know that this is a tool for somebody who might need it for therapy to be able to fidget or quietly fidget, or a child that in a school that might need a quiet fidget, or people that need it might not be able to afford it.
Yeah.
So I try to put it at a rate that I'm not losing anything, um like money. It's like I'm not losing anything, the shipping or the everything's okay, but it's fine. Like it's just a lower price that people can afford, and
Yeah.
if they're really happy with it, or if they have more money to spare, they give more. So, and I'm not offended or not expecting anything. I just kind of put that window out there, and whatever that person's comfortable doing with, they'll do that. So yeah.
Makes me happy that kind of because that speaks to accessibility, but from a financial aspect as well. Like, and just having,
Mm-hmm.
and then maybe it relates back to the boundary idea again too, like knowing, having a clear sense of what you want and what you need so that you can make those adjustments as you go as someone, connecting with your people. If someone,
Yeah, and I've had artists, say they have a sliding scale. If you have any issues with the pricing, to message them or talk to them, but that can be a little bit intimidating.
yeah,
Um, and it's something that you can still do, is say to your potential customers that you can adjust prices, but I've appreciated all the artists that have done that for me. So now I'm just asking, for my grounding mats, the bare minimum that it would cost to make it, just so that it's covered till However, like I cap it at a certain amount that I think is too much to pay me for it. Um,
Yeah.
or just enough, and that's more than that would be too much, and I wouldn't be able to accept that. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just about accessibility, and the people who need it might be the ones that can't afford it. So,
That's incredibly thoughtful. And I think it's such a beautiful, that in itself is a beautiful gift to give people. Lovely. Now, I have another, not sure because where did you come up with the name Kevin Makes Gay Shit?
how did I come up with that name? I tried so many different names.
Yeah.
I tried to find them, and they were all taken.
No.
And I'd have to add some numbers and stuff, and I didn't like it. And I don't know. I make a lot of things with rainbows in it. Like I always add a little touch. Like this grounding mat here has a little rainbow in it, just in case. So I thought it was fitting.
I've had so much fun saying it and letting people know, like, oh yeah, Kevin makes gay shit. We're going to interview Kevin makes gay shit. It's really fun. It's fun to say. Sorry if there's anyone out there who does not appreciate language. It's just a tiny, tiny swear, just a tiny one.
I tried Kevin makes other things, and it didn't come. It was taken, so I can't take that.
I love it so much. Now, oh, we're coming close to end. I love chatting with you. Anything else you have there that you want to show and tell? Anything else that you're working on? Perhaps new things that you haven't had
Hmm.
space yet?
I don't have anything new per se.
Yeah.
Most of my stuff is in my highlights in on my profile. I have stuff for sale there or in the posts. But I just wanted to show you, if you don't understand the resin process, I have a mold here, so I can just show. Um,
Oh,
it's like an inside out. Like this would be the bottom would be the top. So you pour it down
yeah.
into the sides, and then it kind of takes a long time to cure, like 24 hours,
Yeah.
and then you can unmold it. So this is all silicone, and you can like turn it upside down to get your mold out. So just to give you an idea of how that works, I think it's fascinating because it's very technical but very experimental at the same time.
Yeah. Resin is tricky to work with. I know quite a few people who've tried and it's very sciencey at the same time as being artsy.
Yeah,
And you
yeah.
so when you're I mean maybe this is asking too much, the secrets behind the resin craft, but what all those little beautiful treasures that you embed in your pieces, which again is very reminiscent of collage, all the pieces coming together.
Yeah.
um, do they go in layers? How intentional is the placement of all the treasures?
Um, it depends. You have to get to know the treasures because in this one, if you can see it, it's like clear, and
Yeah.
then they kind of all sunk to the bottom.
Okay.
And then on this side, most of them, it all kind of sunk. So these ones are heavy
Yeah.
because they're big, so you gotta like be mindful of that. So in some ones, I'll do different layers, um, because I don't want them to sink all down or all the color to go down. But yeah, it's really about experimenting and trying. I think I tried, they come in big gallons. I buy them in 2 liters, I think, or these
Oh wow.
big things that I've tried. Like the whole first gallon was just experimenting and trying colors with glitter and trying colors with natural materials, trying colors with anything I could find really, just to see how it would look.
Yeah. Like lovely little
Yeah, so it
magical.
was all just an experiment.
Dare I
Yeah,
ask,
happy little accidents.
Happy little accidents. Very little bit of Bob Ross and yeah, a little bit. Um, it is the festive approaching. Do you or will you? Do you think you'll have any ornaments, any resin ornaments coming out for that people can hang on there?
I do. I have a few ornaments already sets in the highlights, and I could mention this anything in the highlights that you like. I mean, I put on every ring to make them like a pendant or a keychain or an ornament. Like I can switch up that very easily. So yeah,
So, folks, if
I
you
have
see,
ornament sets and anything else, something you like, I can tweak it.
love it. Okay, so last question, generally like a shout out. Is there anyone else that you want to say hi out, that, hi to? Any last like kind of I don't know, words of wisdom that you'd like to share with the folks who might be watching right now?
Um, I don't know. I I say I create. Um, I feel like I was made to create, but
Mhm.
I feel like a lot of people feel that way too. And I say follow that. Wherever that takes you, just explore, be open-minded. Just yeah, try little challenges and you'll see you might like it. Like for the crochet, I never thought I would crochet, but I make these big elaborate things now apparently.
They're gorgeous. Yeah. So experiment, explore, try
Thank
things,
you.
make space for those happy little accidents to occur.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, go with the flow.
And I like that too. Born to create. I like to think that, I mean, that for me feels like all humans, but I'm a bit biased. Oh, hello, Kat. All right. I shall let you go. Okay. Kevin, thank you so much for being our guest and chatting with us and sharing what you've been working on.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, delightful as always to connect with you. So good to see your face.
Yes. So glad to be on.
Yay.
Yes. I'm very excited to see what the living room is going to do next.
Me too. I'll keep you posted.
Yeah,
For the next little while,
that's gonna be awesome.
it'll definitely be more of this for the next little while. That's for sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah, exactly. But every talk every week is always different, and I
Yeah.
always look forward to them. And yeah,
Well, thank you. And now people can look forward to you. Did I? Did I see that? Okay, and I promise I will let you go. Did I see? Are you beginning to do live streams here and there? Did I see you do a live stream?
if I do a live stream,
Yeah. Did I see you do one? Or maybe I misunderstood, but well, here's the question. Would you ever consider doing your own live streams on your page?
maybe. I'll keep you posted. Never really thought about that.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, anything's possible. Thank you so much, Kevin, for joining us. Have a wonderful day
All
and keep
right.
okay.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Thanks everybody for watching.
Yeah. Bye. I'll just click you off here. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Oh, there we go. Folks, thank you so much for joining us today. And Kevin, thank you for being our guest. It was such a, again, every week I am just thrilled to have these opportunities to connect with these wonderful artists and makers in our community. But, you know, I learn so much every week, and I'm hoping you do too. If you can, please do check out Kevin's page. Kevin Makes Gay Shit. Reach out if you'd like Kevin to create something custom for you, or if you see something that you love that you'd like him to turn into something interesting for you. There's so many wonderful things. That's a fantastic thing about smaller, more independent artists and makers. They have the ability to create something for you. There's not as, oftentimes there's not as much red tape to to get through to customize things or to make things for you on request. So please do reach out to these local artists to ask for what you need and see what they have available for you right away. We're really lucky. We have a great community here. But in the meantime, just want to thank you for joining me. Remind you that we are back tomorrow on Facebook for another live stream art studio, a virtual studio time at 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. You can come and hang out, make some stuff with me and chat. Otherwise, until we can connect and create with one another again in person, I look forward to connecting and creating with you right here online whenever we have the chance. Oh, kitty cat. What's going on there? Got some crazy cats in my room. Anyways, have fun, folks. Stay safe. Take care of yourselves. Be kind to yourselves. And see you soon. Bye.